Hey guys, today we're going to talk about privacy and security. So, what is computer privacy and security? It is the protection of computer systems and information from harm, theft, and unauthorized use. It also depends on what you want to secure, either there is a personal computer or protection of all computers in an organization. Computer security is protection used in every computer for protecting the computer from malicious attacks and essential data loss and unauthorized use of the computer. Well, for privacy, it depends on who you ask. Privacy refers to freedom from interference or intrusion. Information privacy is the right to have some control over how your personal information is collected and used. To secure a personal computer, there are things that can be used. We usually protect our data or IP address so that no one can misuse it. In browser, there are safe passwords or bank credentials that need to be secured. Here, according to Garfinkel and Spofford, a computer is secure if you can depend on it and its software to behave as you expect. Anyways, always choose the best security software for your computer. Computer security traditionally has goals. We have here availability, confidentiality, data, integrity, control, audit. Availability makes sure you can use your system. So we have here hardening, redundancy, reference checks on people. Hardening in computing is usually the process of a system securing system by reducing its surface of vulnerability, which is larger when a system performs more functions. In principle, a single function system is more secure than a multipurpose one. Next here we have redundancy. Redundancy in a cyber system means building multiple resources that serve the same functions can replace each other in the event of loss of primary system resources. Next is confidentiality. Keep your secrets. We have browser isolation, also known as web isolation, is a technology that contains web browsing activity inside an isolated environment, like a sandbox or virtual machine, in order to protect computers from any malware the user may encounter. This isolation may occur locally on the computer or remotely on a server. Browser isolation isolates browsing activity away from end user's device and into a remote server. This server can be on premises but not contented to the company's regular IT, or it can be delivered by as a cloud-based service. And also, we got background checks on people. Next is data integrity. Prevent others from modifying your data. So we have redundancy, as we talked earlier. What redundancy is the checks build more resources, and here we have backups. A copy of a system or network's data for file restoration or archival purposes. Your organization is backing you up tape or other removable media. Then One of the most important backup security measures to consider is that the tape could walk right the door as such as it is important to physically restrict access and to ensure that if a tape is stolen, data is unusable. Checksums and digital signatures. Oops. A signature or digital signatures is a protocol showing what a message is authentic. From the hash of given message, the signing process first generates a digital signature linked to the signing entity using entity's private key. On receiving the message, the verification process, digital signatures are form of checksums. In the key provide data integrity, but they required asymmetric encryption to also provide authenticity. Here we have control, regulate use of your system, typically achieved by access control list, physical security. An access control list, a fundamental component of data security that dictates who's allowed to access and use company information and resources. Through authentication and authorization, access control policies make sure users are who say they are and that they have appropriate access to company data. The physical security. This is the protection of personnel, hardware, software, networks, and data from physical actions and events that could cause serious loss of damage to an enterprise, agency, or institution. Physical control. So we have your control. Regulate the use of your system, typically achieved by access control list, physical security. A fundamental component of data security that indicates who's allowed to access and use company information and resources. Through authentication and authorization, access control make sure users are who are they are and what they have appropriate access to company data. Physical security is the protection of personnel, hardware, software, networks, and data from physical actions and events that could cause serious loss of damage to an enterprise, agency, or institution. Physical control examples include types of building materials, perimeter security, including fencing, locks and guards, deterrence, denial detection, and delay are the controls used for securing the environment. Next, we have next we have audit. What happened? How do we undo it? So in log files, in the world of cybersecurity, log files are texts that provide security information about the system. The information includes IP address of the system network, address, computer name, and login data. This login data includes login username, date, and time of previous login and current login status. Because most log files are recorded in plain text, the use of the text editor will do just fine to open it. By default, Windows will use Notepad to open a log file. When you double-click on it, you almost certainly have an app already built in or installed in your system for opening log files. Human auditors and expert systems do the works. One expert system may contain knowledge from more than one human expert, thus making the solutions more efficient, and decreases the cost of consulting an expert for various domains such as medical diagnosis. They have a knowledge based on inference engine. Different environments have different priorities. So in banking environment, they prioritize the integrity, control, and audit are more critical than confidentiality and availability. Intelligence service prioritize confidentiality may comes first, availability last. Military on the battlefield, availability may come first, audit may come last. In university, integrity and availability comes first. Most texts focus on bad guys, attackers, and malicious programs, like worms and viruses. Most continuity problems arise from operator, software, and configurations errors. Also, environmental problems. The best way security measures protects against both inadvertent and malicious threats. A security policy defines what you want to secure, from whom, and how you will do it. Security perimeter, because you can secure everything. But most important protection consideration is an effective perimeter security system. The first line of defense against unwanted intruders. If you keep a good watch on the perimeter of your workspace, you can keep unwanted visitors out. Security policy defines what you want to secure, from whom, and how you will do it. So we have a security perimeter. Establishing a security perimeter means setting up the essential equipment and technology to prevent an outside attack against a network. A hacker is someone trying to gain illegal access to someone else's network. A network attack that comes from outside must first find a way into the network. Standards that codify the what should be done. We have guidelines, guidelines that explain how it will be done. So how do you create a policy? Option first, number one is we have to identify assets and their value, identify threats, and then calculate the risk, conduct a cost benefit analysis. And then we have techniques for drafting policies. Option two, adopt best practices. So assign a specific owner to everything that is be protective, should be positive, be realistic on your expectations, concentrate on education and protection. So these are the threats to consider. We have human error, for examples, hackers, technical gurus, script kiddies, criminal looking for gain, disgruntled employees, only thinking about themselves, organized crime, increasingly a threat, break into hospitals, e-commerce sites, and etc. Foreign espionage. Yes, it happens. Cyber terrorist information warfare attacks. It hasn't happened yet, but time will come. And we have this Microsoft RIAA and MPAA. And we also have MOM. That's your mom. Always secure your computer or delete all the illegal stuff you have been doing before it's too late. Highly recommended, never let your mom near your computer. So risk cannot be eliminated. You can purchase a UPS, but the power failure may outlast the batteries. But UPS may fail, but the cleaning crew may unplug it, but UPS may crash due to software error. So we can't afford that. We can't afford it to happen. Now let's talk about malwares and viruses and how to avoid. So here is the types of malware. We have worms. Worms are spread via software vulnerabilities or phishing attacks. A worm virus is a computer virus that can self-replicate, mostly without human intervention. It is the best to protect against worm virus by installing antivirus software right away, rather than waiting to get infected before installing an antivirus tool. The I Love You, Michelangelo, and MS Blast worms are the famous example of these. So we have the viruses. The next is the bot and botnets. So popular examples of boot sector virus include Elcloner, Brain, Stone, Party Boost, Michelangelo, and Angelina. Most sector viruses infect the boot sector or the partition table of the disk. Computer systems are typically infected by these viruses when started with infected floppy disk. The boot attempts does not have to be successful for the virus to infect the computer hard drive. Next is the Trojan horses. This is famous. A Trojan horse is any malware which misleads user of its true intent. The term is derived from the ancient Greek story of the deceptive Trojan horses that lead to the fall of the city of Troy. They are designed to extort money from you in return for detection and removal of threats, even though the threats they report are non-existent. This type of program steals user account information from online gamers. Chaos is an Android banking Trojan, so you can pay to get these viruses out of your computer. Next, we have the ransomware. Ransomware is a type of malware from cryptovirology that threatens to publish the victim's data or perpetually block access to unless a ransom is paid. Two main of ransomware is locker ransomware and crypto ransomware. Locker ransomware locks the victim out of their computer once it prevents the access. It prompts the victim to pay money to unlock their device. Crypto ransomware prevents the user from accessing their files, usually through encryption. Then we have the adware and scams. Adware or advertising supportive malware. It is a term used to describe unwanted software that displays advertisements on your computer. An adware virus is considered an PUP, or potentially unwanted program, which means it's a program that is installed without express permission from the user. And then we have the spyware. Spyware also a software program that secretly gathers personal information and sends it without the user knowledge from a computer when it's online. An example of spyware is an adware software program that records a user's keystrokes on online advertisements and report them to research or ad firm. Then we have spam and phishing. Whereas spam is simply unwanted, phishing is expressively designed by malignant actor to harm a company or individual by obtaining sensitive information. It only takes the form of seemingly legitimate-looking message from a trusted sender. Most common example of phishing: the fake invoice scam. So let's start with arguably the most popular phishing template out there, the fake invoice technique. And then we got email account upgrade scam, the Nigerian scam, the Google Docs scam, PayPal scam, message from HR scam, and the drop box Dropbox for the scam. Yeah, the Dropbox. So how can you prevent your device becoming infected with these malware? First, install an antivirus software. This antivirus should be trusted, and you should write a premium key to access all the keys to it. Regularly update your software. And yes, only buy apps from trusted resources. It could be a malware. Don't click on suspicious links or download attachments from unknown resources. Don't you ever click those links that send it to you if you not really not really know what is it, then don't click. Install a firewall. This is also great for your computer. If you install a firewall, it will block all the viruses and unwanted suspicious links. Backup your data regularly. So that's it. And here's some SPAP's first Personal of Security Administration. Says, if you have responsibility for security, but have no authority to set rules or punish violators, your own role in the organization is to take the blame when something big goes wrong. And that would be all. I hope to bring you new knowledge, and thank you for listening. That's all. Thank you.